conscious. I would say she's been a tremendous support, really heartbreakingly so, throughout this experience. But on a sort of positive note, you do notice this improvement, and you do see things like maybe you pivot slightly towards other things that you like in your life more than, I mean, in the old days I was quite a boozer, I was a heavy smoker. I mean, I probably one of the consultants at I think it was at I was in two hospitals, Chelsea and Westminster and Charing Cross. But one of the consultants said that we've had a lot of people with strokes who've come in after the COVID jabs, and this possibly. And I was thinking, so it's got nothing to do with I was smoking 40 cigarettes a day, drinking like a fish for like the last 40 years. Then, but anyway, but you do sort of work round because a bit like maybe a three-legged dog that they're not upset, they just carry on with themselves. I think humans are terribly resilient, and you do once you've had the initial shock. I think just the part of being human is you just live with what you've got, and you do slowly get better. And indeed, I found certain advantages, like for example, one consultant said to me, "I'm going to need siestas in the afternoon." And I was thinking, really, that's fantastic. And I said, can you come in? Can you tell my wife that? And make sure it's absolutely clear. After I've had a nice meal, I can pop down and have a snooze. And then I learnt a lot. And actually, Lynn, you're very inspirational. And you do learn a lot from speaking to other people in the same boat. And as we've seen, a stroke every 5 minutes in the UK, there are a lot of people in the same boat. I think in the last 3.5 years of having a stroke, I learned also. I didn't support Chelsea, although I do live in Chelsea, very near the football ground, and I was slightly sort of anti-Chelsea. But then I found out they've got a Chelsea Foundation, which is like an outreach program, which helps I don't know, the elderly or people with certain physical need, not even necessarily, they might just want to get a bit fitter, and Chelsea take the time out, and the actual Chelsea sort of first team physios and actually the ladies team physios will take the time out, and you go there and they'll do fitness programs for people in the community. And I thought it was terribly nice. And then when I was talking to them, they said, well, no, nearly all Premier League football clubs. So I thought all these sort of quite greedy money-making machines, like Man United or whoever, I thought that sort of they're sort of corporate brands, they're sort of businesses. I never knew they were doing all these charities, but apparently they all do, and they're quite marvellous. And Julie, who we came up with, she mentioned in one of these meetings that there's this group called LEGS, which is Local Exercise Group for Strokes, and they're a charity that you pay a nominal amount. I think it's £7 an hour, and they'll do a Zoom class for people with strokes to get you fitter. Because one of the things, the disadvantage of not being so mobile is, like, I can't walk my dog anymore, I don't play tennis any longer, and you're just much more. I mean, I'm sitting down now, I suppose I have a lot of nervous energy. Normally I'd be striding up and down here to talking at you, maybe do a little jig or something, but now I'm sort of sitting down, and you're much more stationary the whole time. So I think, I mean, for example, I've got a new gadget. I've got a trouser stretcher. I didn't know they existed, but you stretch your jeans out. So I'm needing to add about 2 inches at a time. So I think one of the important things I've learned, and I should say, it's not just for people who've had strokes, but for anyone, one of the things is keep moving. Keep moving, and then it's lovely also meeting other people who are in the same boat as you, whatever difficulties in life. It might not be a stroke, it might be something else. As soon as you start talking to people, you realise everyone's problems are all the same, basically. So that's a tremendous comfort to me. I'm trying to think of other comforts. Oh, I'm lucky. I didn't. I'm working continuously from home because I had my stroke just after lockdown, and so I kind of showed I could work from home. And then luckily they, like sort of, because they're not a charity. I work for one of these big evil corporations. They wouldn't employ me for fun, unfortunately. So that was encouraging for me to be working, and for a matter of pride, because a difficult thing if you're maybe this sounds sexist, but I can only speak from a man's point of view, being a man, and being a man, you know, I don't know, if you walked into a bar, I'd like to go up. My wife would hopefully sit down. I'd go and get the drinks, check she's okay. But now, kind of rolls, or someone knocks on the, rings the doorbell, and there's a big parcel. You know, I can't go and get it, so you feel a bit emasculated, I think the word is. So it's good. It's good to chat to other people. What I think, whatever problem life throws at you, you'll soon see that's the very similar thing, or something worse has happened to someone else. So it's good to talk. I think that's and that's one of the things I liked about coming down here, because you know, you meet people in the same boat. You meet people who might be interested. So on that note, I hadn't really prepared anything to say at all, but I'm naturally quite a talkative chap. But so has anyone got any? I'd love it if someone had a quick question, because then I could answer, and that would keep me talking, because it's meant to be it's meant to be an inspiring talk for 10 minutes, and I reckon good, great, brilliant. Hello there. The most difficult thing for me is, thanks very much for the question. Most difficult thing for me since I've had my stroke, um, well, physically, it's just um, not really being able to walk around in closed places, liking a big, not being able to walk up hills. Mobility, I mean, my mobility's gone down, you know, quite dramatically. I could, you know, I get terribly tired. So physically, it's walking, and then the most difficult thing that's happened to me mentally, I think as I touched on, it does make you feel less of a man. You know, with that's something to struggle with. But I come to terms with that, because I've got a lovely support for my lovely wife. Great, brilliant. Yes, please. Sadly, not. No, not at all. I mean, I'll give you an example. When I walked past those sandwiches, I was getting edgy immediately, and I think I've had. I'm scared to admit in front of you, because I hope there is plenty left. I think I've had three. I'm admitting to. No, no, it hasn't affected me at all. No, not at all. No, far from it. No. Um, yeah, I think that's an absolutely fantastic point, and I saw Dr. Sauer and Dr. Noah would also agree, because I think also that you do much more rehabilitation now. Is that right? And I think was that true than back in the 80s? So I think that the thought of, yes, you um, Dr. Sauer always said to me, you will be walking again. Well, perhaps in the 80s they wouldn't be so encouraging. It might be done in kind of, you know, and also they have the idea of rehabilitation in Chelsea, the Chelsea and West, no, Charing Cross Hospital, where they have the rehab unit, and I don't think that would have existed in the 80s. I don't think. I don't anyway. I don't know. No, no, no. So yes, you're absolutely right. Things have got much better, I think, medically wise. I can see another question in the back. Okay. Oh, well, I was. I mean, I don't know whether it was it. So the one theory is don't have a COVID jab. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. I don't think there's anything to do with it. No, I'd say I was a very heavy smoker, and a big drinker. You know, I'd be drunk on most nights, and now I don't do that. You know, I still have a drink, but I don't have any cigarettes, and I wouldn't actually sort of get drunk. So I'd say don't. I was a heavy drinker, heavy smoker, and I had a